Big Sills! Thursday edition of the National Football Show. Pull up a chair, put your phone somewhere, have us on your desktop, your tablet, YouTube, wherever. We appreciate you, Twitch. We appreciate you guys coming aboard. Divisional round of the NFL. Road to the Super Bowl is this weekend. Amazing. Amazing time of the year. By the way, have you noticed something different that's going on now in the NFL postseason? Well, the postseason for some teams that have been eliminated. What are coaching staffs now doing? Do you guys see what they're doing? They're tailor-making coaching staffs to the quarterbacks. Look at the firings in Tampa. What do you think that's all about on the offensive side? Tom Brady's going to pick the entire coaching staff. That's going to be the sell to Brady to stay in Tampa. What about in Baltimore, what they're doing? John Harbaugh now, and DaCosta and the entire organization sitting down with him going, what do you want us to do? You don't think in Cincinnati, now because we're past January 9th? Oh, that's a significant day. January 9th is the first time that the 2020 quarterback class can start talking contract extension. Was Jalen Hurts in that draft? Bet your ass he was. We're going to hit on that here in a minute. But look at that staff up in Cincinnati. Everything gets tailored around what Joe Burrow wants. That is going to be the new trend in the offseason. What does Aaron Rodgers want? You know, I hear people saying it's time to move on. You're only going to hear the old guys talking that. Time to move on from Aaron Rodgers. To what? Being irrelevant? Bring Nathaniel Hackett back if Rodgers wants him back. Who cares? Who cares? Whatever, that guy makes you relevant and puts you in a position at least to contend for a playoff spot. Jordan Love doesn't do anything but prepare you for the upcoming NFL draft. What do you want to be preparing for? The draft or being a playoff contender? Come on, man. Use some common sense. Move on from Aaron Rodgers. How idiotic. Even though the guy's a hemorrhoid. You don't move on from that shit. You try to appease it and coach around it. Dude, you know that's part of coaching too. Some guys are driven like Jalen. Some guys are drama queens like Aaron Rodgers. You got to be a coach for it all. That's coaching. I'm going to tell you the difference between Dean Smith and other coaches in basketball or whatever sport. Dean Smith was asked the question. You know, he won 2 NCAA championships. With Jordan and Worthy and all those great players, Brad Daugherty and all them guys that played there, 2. And John Wooden won 10. Do you know what the difference is? Dean said this, and I asked him when he was alive. He came on my program years ago. You know what he goes like this. Yeah, I tried to recruit guys that were kind of like my personality so that I could coach them better. Well, what about the Dennis Rodmans? What about guys like that? Dennis Rodman's got 5 NBA championship rings. He's a 3-time NBA player, defensive player of the year. That's what made Phil Jackson the greatest NBA coach in history. He knew how to take the dishes, and he knew how to manage them all. He had other people to put personnel on the Bulls. Other people to draw up defensive plays, like Tex Winter. He was the guy that was making sure that the Ringling Brothers circus went on every night. That's coaching. Coaching all time. Jimmy Johnson's the greatest at that, coaching personalities. You got to coach them all. So you got to coach Aaron Rodgers. That's what makes a great coach. Diverse personalities on your roster. This guy versus that guy. But all rowing in the same direction. Yeah, that stuff with Greg Popovich. Greg Popovich, leave your ego at the door. Well, how's he been since Tim Duncan left? How's he been since Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker left? Jimmy's and Joe's win championships. Okay? When you have the right jockey, the jockey can lead you past the finish line for sure. Got to have the jockey, but you got to have the Jimmys and the Joes. You know, it's funny, I bring up Tim Duncan. I'm going to compare, and I did this before, and I'll do it again. Tim Duncan and Jalen Hurts have a lot in common. They're the most boring stars I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen a more boring Eagle team in my life than what I watch each and every single week. It's boring. It's boring. But weren't the Patriots really boring for 20 years? Right? How many times did we say this? Shit. The Spurs are in the NBA Finals again. No one's watching. Right? How many? Shaq and Kobe? Shaq and Kobe, man, you had theater. Aaron Rodgers, theater. Okay? Look at Danko. Sounds like your opinion. Check the ratings. The Dallas Cowboys get $30 million in a blowout game on a Monday night versus the Buccaneers and Brady, but they're the highest rated game and TV show every week when they're on. The Eagles, I don't know, they're somewhere. That's fact. The Cowboys are the highest rated TV show every week. The Eagles, there's a reason for that. You're boring. It's boring. I'm not saying winning championships, you have to be running through hula hoops. I actually like the boring. But you're never going to be talked about as a team like some of these other teams because sports media covers drama. They don't cover good. Nobody liked covering the Spurs. Just like nobody likes covering the Eagles. Are you as talented and maybe in some aspects the most talented team in the NFL? If you're the most talented team in the NFL, I'll tell you what, you're not the most covered. That's for damn sure. How could the most talented team in the NFL be the least talented when it comes to covering them by the sports media? They cover Kansas City. They cover the Cowboys. They cover the Niners. They cover the Giants. They don't cover the Eagles. They talk about the Eagles. I like men, and I love how Jalen dominates. Dominates what? I haven't seen him dominate anything yet. We're going to get a chance Saturday night. Okay? I watched Jody Mack and Johnny, and they are boring. Way to go, maniac. Hey, I told you I like boring. I'm good with boring. You know what boring usually means? Consistency. How long did that dynasty in San Antonio go on for? 20 years? How many years apart? The Patriots were boring. The media made them interesting because of, hey, what made the Patriots a thing on TV? Brady and the scandals. It wasn't their play, really. It was Brady and the scandals. Deflategate. Spygate. Brady winning titles? I don't know. Kicking field goals early on in that run? Right? Boring doesn't sell. The Eagles don't sell. Jalen Hurts is today's version of Tim Duncan. But make sure you understand when I say that with great respect to Tim Duncan. Duncan won more titles than Shaq. Duncan's resume, I think, is better than Shaquille O'Neal's. You'd never know it, though. Shaq's on TNT. Shaq's personality's spectacular. Duncan? I mean, seriously, Duncan is like a librarian, like Jalen. They're boring dudes. Boring dudes. Jalen gets up to the mic. You want to go to bed. And you swear you're on 18 no-dos. That's why watch this. If Jalen Hurts played in New York, he'd be the hands-down MVP. I'll say it again. If Jalen Hurts played, just like if Tony Gwynn played in New York, they'd be talking about Tony Gwynn like he was Ty Cobb. He's got just as many batting titles as Ty Cobb. Tony Gwynn? You don't bring his name up. You want to hear a stat? In 20 years, Tony Gwynn struck out 3 times in a game once. In 20 years of play. That's an incredible. He was an amazing player. I was privileged to know him. Privileged. He played in New York or Los Angeles? Be insane. Jalen's probably the most boring guy in the NFL. But that's okay. That's okay. It is. That team is always going to be fighting that. You're always going to be second place to the Cowboys. I actually like that fuel. You know what's crazy about the Eagles? They've dominated the Cowboys since 2000. They've dominated them. Okay, dominated. In division titles, playoff wins, a Super Bowl, dominated. No one cares. They cover the Cowboys. No one cares. The game that they're talking about this weekend is not Giants and Eagles. They're talking about San Francisco and Dallas. That's the number one game this weekend for them. Not the Saturday night game. Okay? Jalen Hurts is boring. It's okay. All right. This is crazy. I didn't see this, and it got past Big Sills. This is amazing here. Jalen Hurts is scheduled in 2023 to make $1.3 million with, get this, $100K roster bonus. That's his salary, 1.3. I missed this day. January 9th. What was that? 10 days ago. 10 days ago was the first time that the Eagles could start talking contract extension with the 2020 NFL quarterback class. That's why you started seeing some comments made by Mike Brown. Mike Brown came out going, "But hey, Mike Brown's already pleading poverty." Did you see that? You see Mike Brown pleading poverty? Hey, we want to keep Joe Burrow, but, you know, it's not important that, yeah, my mouth is moving and words are coming out. That's kind of like Mike Brown. Yeah, you don't want to make all the money in the world because you got to pay Jamar Chase and, T. Higgins. I'm like, this guy's pleading poverty, and he hasn't even gone into the store yet. I mean, Mike Brown is talking poverty. Joe and his people haven't even come to the plate yet. Hey, how about a dinner at least before you start pleading poverty? Right? I mean, Mike Brown came out this week going, yeah, we really want to keep him, but, hey, yeah, because he knows. This is where Joe Burrow's going to give you a break. Are you ready? Hey, Xander, you know where Joe Burrow's going to give you a break? Okay? This is where Joe Burrow's going to give you a break. He's going to go like this to Mike Brown, the owner of the Bengals. Tell you what I'm going to do. Instead of going in the open market and getting $65 million, you could pay me $55. I'll take 55 over 5. We'll start there. Per. And by the way, I want 75% of that thing guaranteed. Okay, the tennis ball's on your side of the court now. Because if I go in the open market, Big Mike, I'm going to get $65 million. Don't let me do that. God forbid he wins the Super Bowl. God forbid he wins the Super Bowl. Okay, what if it goes out and puts the team back in the Super Bowl for a second straight year? That price goes up to $70 a year. Aaron Rodgers is going to make 60 this year. That's where you start. You start there. Hey, Big Mike, I won't charge you 65, so I'll charge you 55, and we'll work up from there. Bengals got a big price tag to pay to keep that guy. Hey, when you want a Ferrari, when you got to keep the upkeep on the Ferrari, it ain't like taking your Acura for an oil change. You take your Acura Legend for an oil change, it brings you about $100. You take your Ferrari for an oil change, it costs you about $500. Yeah. Woo! Where are the Eagles talking contract extension with Jalen? It's been 10 days. Nothing? Nobody in the media asked them? January 9th was the day. Officially, you could start talking extension. You could do it now, publicly too. The Eagles like to tell you guys all the shit about what's going on, who's healthy, who's not. Is there a quarterback controversy? Is there quarterback competition? Who's active? Who's not? Planting flowers. Starting to wave. Look at Mass. Jalen is a Lamborghini. Come on, man. Okay? Come on, man. Jalen's a souped-up 2019 Acura. How you doing? With 50,000 miles on it. Hey. Where's the Eagle owner? Where's the owner? Where's the GM? How come nobody in Philly's asked the question, when are you going to start talking extension? When are you going to talk extension with Jalen Hurts? When? When is somebody going to ask the question in Philly? You can legally start your negotiations with Hurts as of January 9th. Nothing? Or are you waiting to see what he does in the postseason? I know you watch at the NovaCare Center. Big Sills is going to be hammering on this because I'm going to wait until somebody in that pathetic media market asks the question, have you talked contract with Clutch yet? Yes or no? Yes or no? Ask the question. Ask Jalen. He's there every week. You had a whole 2 weeks to ask him. Hey, have you started talking contract? If he's so important to the future. Shit, man. Mike Brown couldn't wait to get to the podium to go, we want him here. We want him here. Woo! According to the collective bargaining agreement and the NFL Players Association, as of January 9th, the 2020 quarterback class, and you don't have to worry about a fifth-year option because second-rounders don't have them. Why aren't you talking extension with your boy? Or are you waiting to see what he does in the postseason? Seems to me the Eagles aren't sold yet. Hey, if somebody told me, first guy to the table could buy this Ferrari at this price, and I wanted this how about this? If I wanted a date with really a hot woman, I'm not going to let 17 guys stand up to the plate and go, hey, I don't want to be the last guy in line. I want to be the first dude in line. Hey, you know what, man? Let's go out and have some fun here. I want to make her feel important. Dank, what do you think his answer would be? Talk to my agency. Talk to Howie. How about this, Dank? Let him answer it. I don't want to talk about that right now, but at least it'll start the conversation going. Yeah, you got a guy that's in line to make $1.3 million in 2023 with $100,000 roster bonus. You know, I posted something on my Twitter page at Dan Sileo Show. What was it, Xander? couple months ago where I had a bonus of $45,000 in 1987. In 1987, I had a workout bonus of $45,000. 45 in 1987. This guy's got a $100,000 roster bonus. Are you kidding me, man? I made more than Jalen. Wow. That's crazy. So the Eagles haven't began the contract talks yet. Very interesting. Wonder why. Focus is football? Oh, I guess it's different. Arthur in Cincinnati, team that just went to the Super Bowl, because they wanted to make Joe Burrow feel right at home. Hey, we want you to have your entire career in Cincinnati. You know, it's funny. I've never heard the Eagles say that we want Jalen Hurts to be in Philadelphia his entire career. I haven't heard that. I heard that in Cincinnati, though, this week. Mike Brown, the owner, made sure that those statements and everything got out there. Hey, Joe, before you get into your playoff run even more deeper, we want you here, and we want you here forever. I haven't heard that. I have heard nothing. And now it's legal. I wonder why the Eagles are pausing and balking and hesitating. Why? Can you guys, help me out. Help me out. Why do you think they're waiting? I have an idea. It's a Philly thing? Dank, it's just another tactic by Sills to get a rise. Look at Matthew. So, Matthew, January 9th, you can officially start talking about contract extensions. So it's okay in Cincinnati for the owner in Cincinnati, Matthew, to start talking contract extension. And the owner comes out, Mike Brown, and says, hey, guess what? You know what? We want you here for your entire career. But Joe Burrow's not the all-pro. He's not the all-pro quarterback. Your guy is. So your all-pro quarterback has got to wait and see? There's still a wait and see on Jalen? You've had 2 weeks to talk about it. How is that a tactic? Oh, I see, because not the Inquirer, none of the radio stations in Philadelphia have asked this question because they're afraid. Because they don't want to get a rise out of the organization. Because they want to keep their press pass. And they want to keep their little key fob so they get into the place. I hate exposing people. But the Eagles want to see what he does in the playoffs. They're not sold. Hey, if the owner comes out and the general manager comes out and they start talking contract extension, you know you heard it here first. Because no one else is. Jalen Hurts has been waiting his entire life for January 9th because he's on some sort of shit. Do you know Jalen Hurts is the 717th highest paid player in the NFL? You don't think he's been waiting for January 9th his entire NFL brief career? And you're telling me no one in Philadelphia understood that? Well, here you go. This is why you come here. He's been waiting his entire life. It's the lottery. It's generational wealth day for him and his family. January 9th. Silence from the Eagles. Silence from Howie. Silence. No one's asked the question. Yep. Tiny Dancer. Woo! Woo! I think Hurts is more focused on winning than a check. That's nice in a book, Joshua, in a comic book. Do you see Joshua up there? I think Hurts is more focused on winning than a check. Really? Okay. Sure. Hey, yeah, you're right. For $1 million, you're probably right. But for $50 million a year, I don't know. That may change a bit. That may change your opinion when you're making $5 million a month. He is. Chris is an idiot and doesn't get it. He failed to mention that Jalen is under a contract this year. No shit, dickhead. So is Joe Burrow. But you're okay to talk extension. The same thing they did for Carson Wentz and Jared Goff. They were on rookie deals and they got extensions. One in Philly, one in Los Angeles. You're welcome. Read a book or take the rest of the day off. Jesus criminy. No shit, jackass. He would get the bonus this year. You're welcome. Don't worry, kid. Big Sills is here to help. How you doing? Oh, how come? Give me here. Help me out here. Help me out here. Okay? Okay? Help me out here. Why haven't the Eagles contacted Jalen about an extension? Bone. Sills get mad. Always remember something. Bone, the people that get me upset, and you guys don't get me upset in here, but always remember this. I'm going to take a phrase out of President Nixon. When someone asked him, "You seem upset, President Nixon." President Nixon looked to the media and said this. Wait a minute. You're under some sort of impression that I'm upset. Always remember something. You have to respect the person that's talking to you before you can be angry at them. You don't get upset with people you don't know. Why would you? You don't get upset with people you don't know. Because I don't know if I respect you. Common sense. Sills, you better respect me. Only if you win Saturday night, Cheesemo. Hey, Paisan, you better win Saturday night. How you doing? Never paid dual threat. Anyway, how come no one answers? How come no one answers? Why haven't the Eagles contacted Jalen Hurts? Why haven't they contacted Jalen Hurts on a contract extension? Or at least made it public. We want him as our... Hey, how about this one? You know, legally, you could say this. Jalen's our franchise quarterback for the next 10 years. They said that in Cincy. Same draft class. Joey B. Joey B's got the cheat. Hey, you know what makes Jalen or Xander? You know what makes that even more crazy? What they're doing in Cincinnati to Joey B? You know what makes that even crazier? The cheapest franchise and the cheapest owner in the league is going, we don't want him going anywhere. We're going to do everything we can to keep him here. And he's our quarterback as long as he wants. and Philly, tick-tock, sand runs through the hourglass. They're waiting to see what this dude does against the Giants Saturday night. I guarantee you, if he puts on a stellar performance, you'll see the owner come out Monday, start barking about this extension stuff. I guarantee you. How you doing? The Eagles are not sold on him. Tell us. Legally, you can. If they're so impressed with Jalen Hurts, hey, watch this. You think Kansas City is happy with their guy for the next 10 years? Yeah, they gave him a 10-year contract. owner of the Bengals, came out and said, we want this guy to retire a Bengal. The Buffalo Bills just gave Josh Allen $42 million a year, and they go, we have a 10-year Super Bowl window with him. What about your boy? Let's take a look at that 2020 Super Bowl class. That's what we're calling it now, the 2020 quarterback Super Bowl class. What quarterbacks were taken in the 2020 NFL draft? Here we go. Joe Burrow. Look at this. Hey, even the Dolphins are going. Tua's back next year. He's our guy. Okay? Hey, Tua's back. He's our guy. We're going. They ain't talking money with him, though, are they? They can talk extension. You think they're giving Tua Tagovailoa an extension? Oh, now I know why. Hey, he's our guy in 2023. They're going to pick the fifth-year option up, but they're not giving him a contract extension. Woo-wee! Oh, that's a slick way of slapping a quarterback in the face. You don't get an extension, we'll pick the fifth year up on you, but we're not doing that. Woo! Pretty slick. Chris Greer, the GM. Chris Greer. Maybe they won't pick the extension up because of his health. He just said he's back in 2023. Well, that's either an extension or you're picking the fifth year up on it. Which is it, dude? Nobody in the dumbass Miami media will ask that either because they're afraid of them the same way. Ask the question, are you extending him or picking the option up? Jordan Love. Good luck, kid. Good luck. Jameson, Big Sills want to say you're awesome, big dog. Jameson, thank you, brother. Joe Burrow, they started contract talks. Tagovailoa, you're our guy next year? I didn't hear anything about money. He's due for an extension too. Justin Herbert, I haven't heard really anything because they're waiting to find a coach. Because you know what they're saying in Los Angeles? They're saying this for Justin Herbert right now. You know what they're saying? We got to find a coach that fits his style. Philiopolis goes, Sills, are you an agent all of a sudden? No, I've had 10. Then there's Jalen Hurts, baby. Woo-wee! You see, this is why it's important that nothing's public yet. We had a whole serenade and a whole romance and a whole courting of the Cowboys and Dak Prescott when he was working on his new contract. That thing went on 3 years. 3 years it went on. And by the way, I mean, if you franchise tag Jalen, I think that's a slap in the face too. He's got 1 year. You can't. So this is where you're right, Chris. You can't put a franchise tag on him this year because he's got 1 year remaining. What are you going to do? You're either going to let him play his $1.3 million base out, or you're going to extend him. What is it? And you can't put a 50-year tag option on him because second rounders don't have that according to the NFL collective bargaining agreement. What are you doing? They're not sold on your boy. Man, who would have thought that? MVP, All-Pro. Wouldn't be the first thing that Clutch Sports, LeBron's agency and all them dudes, Maverick Carter and them guys, Nicole and them, wouldn't it be something that you'd want public? And you'd want the Eagles to come out publicly and say, Jalen's our quarterback for the next 10 years. Just to show some public goodwill. No? I can't wait to see this tap dance. Holy cow, man. This is going to be a great tap dance. This is going to be like America's Got Talent. You'll be watching this thing go on, man. I can't wait. Dual threat. Never pay it. Hey, man. Jack Wagon. That's one of my favorites. Seals, the answer is dual threat. Mistake with Wentz. And he's been injured. They want to see how he plays in the playoffs. Joshua, you're dead right. He's been hurt 2 years in a row. He's missed games. He shit the bed against the Bucs. He's the least accomplished postseason quarterback heading into that game Saturday night. And before they start opening checkbooks or making proclamations, they won't see what he does. Tell me I'm wrong. Every other organization is opening their mouth about their guy. Why aren't the Eagles? What, they don't want to go down that Wentz road again? I don't blame them. I don't blame them. What possibly could be the reason? What possibly? What's the reason? Except they want to see what he does. They're not sold. He's been hurt 2 years in a row. Probably needs surgery in the offseason. Again. He's not going to get any healthier. Boy, you start opening that checkbook, 45, 50 million, 35, somewhere in there. This ain't me talking. Why aren't the Eagles talking? Why is it, Philiopolis, why is it always me that has to bring out the obvious instead of cheerleading and pom-poms? See, Philiopolis likes the cheerleading and pom-pom shows instead of the reality shows of what a team has to go through to keep great players, to keep elevating players, to keep teams intact, to point out the obvious. What, you think a show like this could go on WIP? Never. Bob Lang would be calling the program director and the market manager in 5 seconds. Don't bring that topic up. We're not there in the organization yet. They dictate topics on that station. Look at Mask. I'm not the reality. Cincinnati started talking this week about keeping Burrow around for his entire career. The Eagles haven't. That's not reality. You're right. Woo! Philiopolis says, Sills, you've been wrong so many times this year. What do you mean? Like 4,000 yards passing? Jalen wouldn't get hurt? You mean like that? You're correct. Devonta got 1,000 yards. And there were 2 of them. And they didn't start 2 and 5. You're right. But I did predict they'd get to the Super Bowl too. So which is it? Oh, I know. When I said he would never throw for 4,000 yards and he would get hurt, that happened. That's reality. Dual threat. Dual threat. Bill Ray goes like this. It's more important to see if Hurts can win big games versus Dak Prescott. Bill, I agree with you. Bill, that's what I think they're waiting to see. I'll tell you what, Bill, if he puts on a performance Saturday night, I think you'll start seeing those accolades start getting thrown around on Monday morning. I do. If Jalen Hurts starts and plays his ass off Saturday night, I think they will start talking that. This is our guy. We're not going. They get bounced and upset, and that coaching staff does a shit job too. What do you think Howie's just going to say? Like I said yesterday too, and everybody, by the way, they went on my Twitter page and started talking that this was stupid, that Nick Sirianni's job is safe. There's no job in Philadelphia on the Philadelphia football coaching staff that's safe. As long as Howie Roseman's the general manager and your head coach has no autonomy. He's got no say who's in the building. Nick Sirianni has zero say who's in the building. Zero. Howie. It's Howie's game. This is Howie's movie. He's Steven Spielberg. He picks the actors. He picks the theme. He picks the casting director. Nick Sirianni's a casting director. That's all he is. How he picks all that, he's the director. He's the Coppola. He directs everything. Nothing gets past him. The amount of money players are paid, coaches on the sidelines, players in the draft. This is his game. Coach doesn't fulfill his requirements with his team and his movie. He's firing the actor. Tell me I'm wrong. So why wouldn't Nick be safe? If he loses, Keon, Saturday night, I think your coaching staff is inferior to Brian Daboll's coaching staff. You better win, man. There's more pressure. This is crazy. I haven't even got to my topics yet. There's more pressure on Nick Sirianni than Jalen Hurts on Saturday night. Jalen's money's on the line and how they're going to go forward in negotiations and dealing with an extension or a non-extension. If Jalen Hurts loses Saturday night, I could see the Eagles letting him play through his final year of his contract. Because why? Well, Howie likes to be able to make deals. You can't make deals when your quarterback's making $50 million. You're limited. Ask the Cowboys. They couldn't even get Brandon Cooks. Jalen's not really our guy yet. Not one conversation all these last 2 weeks about Hurts' future. Every other organization, even with guys playing still, you got John Lynch going like this. Brock Purdy is someone we really love and we're really high on, and he has just changed the entire environment in our building. We love this guy. In my opinion, I think they're going to send Trey Lance to Tennessee with Rand Carthon. Rand Carthon's the new general manager, and he came out of the 49er front office. That's kind of the same quarterback they need. I could see Trey Lance being sent to Tennessee. And they're going to keep, then draft the rookie quarterback and trade Jimmy Garoppolo. You got guys, hey, man. What is happening in Philly? Nothing on your quarterback yet. Because they're not sold on the kid. Dual threat. They're not sure he's healthy. How's he going to play against them New York Giants? Man, can you imagine this? Jalen's got a Brinks truck waiting at the 60th minute of that game come Saturday night. And if he shits the bed, that Brinks truck moves out about the 50th minute of the game and leaves the link and gets on 95 and heads back to New York. And they may be giving it to Daniel Jones. You see that Brinks truck? Oh, I just should get this. I should get there right now. Let me get here. Hey, real quick. Before I get into the topics, let me throw this at you. Would you trade Jalen Hurts to Baltimore for Lamar? Would you trade Jalen to Baltimore for Lamar? You think Lamar wouldn't want to play with this group of guys? I mean, if you're going to pay someone $50 million, why not pay the better guy? No. So, wait, you think Jalen's better than Lamar? Interesting. Not a chance. Lamar's not going anywhere. That I do agree. Ron, I agree with that. They're not letting him out of that building. You're not letting that guy out of the building. You're not letting that guy. Unanimous MVP. Led the NFL in touchdown passes, something Jalen Hurts will never do. Okay? If Jalen is so untouchable, why haven't they started talking contract extension, Arthur? They are everywhere else with the 2020 class. They are everywhere else, but in Philly? Whoa, why? Hurts is not better than Lamar. Not close. Dual threat. I'd have a problem paying Lamar because he's not Josh Allen. Dual threat. Hey, nobody talks contract, though, with Jalen from the Eagles. Remember, that's probably directly from Bob Lang. I wouldn't doubt it. Called me up a few times. That's not really, isn't it? Then I sent him back to CBA and showed it to him. January 9th was the day. January 9th is the day teams can officially start talking to the 2020 class on contract extensions. Eagles have said nothing about it. They haven't even publicly said he's our future. Where have you heard that? Where in the Philadelphia Inquirer? Where have you heard that? Where have you seen that? You haven't. Jalen's our future. And when asked the question going into this year, you know what the response of the organization was? Jalen's our quarterback in 2022. That's it. That's all you've heard. Oh, man. I hate to do it to you guys. Here, let's get off a very harsh topic here because I see some of you guys are getting your panties in a bind, and I don't want anybody to get upset here, man. We're getting ready. We're like 50 hours away from the Giants and the Eagles, man. We should probably move on, right? Because I don't want anybody to get upset because we start getting people. Oh, by the way, O.J. Anderson. We'll talk to him about the Giant turnaround. Giant Hall of Famer, dear friend of ours, that's in the 5 o'clock hour. We will talk to O.J. Anderson at 5 o'clock. Please hit the like button here. How come not one of you guys can answer why the Eagles haven't answered it? Some of you did. Some of you had the cannolis to answer it. Tank. Some Eagle fans, not all. Why haven't the Eagles come out and said Hurts is our future? You can now. And you could actually give him an extension right now. Legally. Eagles' best option isn't doing that? Oh, I'm sorry. I missed some of them. Please repost. I'll look. Man. Because why? They want to wait and see what he does in the... Here, I'll write some of them down. They want to see what he does in the postseason. Postseason performance. I think some of you said that. What else? What else? I got postseason performance. Results are what counts. Postseason performance. Okay. Plus the regular season. Because of Wentz. You know what's crazy about that comment, Walter? You're not that far off, but I love what Arizona did at least. They knew they made a mistake on Josh Rosen. They sent that guy's ass to Miami, and they went back in the draft and still drafted a quarterback the next year for Kyler Murray. Whatever you think of Kyler Murray, at least Steve Keim wasn't afraid. And I think organizations do get caught in history because no media member has asked the question. Ron, okay. Dual threat, injuries. So far, postseason performance because of Wentz and his deal, dual threat. What else? Okay. See if they make the Super Bowl. That's postseason performance. Isaiah goes, they are, I bet anything, Howie spoke to Jalen's agent the day of. Really? You think so? Howie Roseman, who stands, wait a minute. Xander, put this guy here. What did he say? The day of. Here, put Isaiah Douglas up there. Isaiah Douglas, they are. I bet anything Howie spoke to Jalen's agent the day of. Why is that preposterous? Because Howie stands out front of the locker room after a game in Indianapolis. Howie's the guy telling everyone, I gotcha. Howie's the guy who is telling everyone, this is my team. But he's not going to go public and go, with maybe his greatest draft choice, we're starting to talk contract negotiations with Jalen Hurts. Howie's greatest draft choice could be Jalen. It might be. And he's going to keep it secret. Howie keeping anything a secret? Has that been his MO? Keeping things secret. Really? Really? Yeah, that's how Howie does it. Keeps things secret. That's what he does. Keon, he keeps it secret. That's Howie Roseman. When was the last time you ever seen a general manager standing outside of a locker room after he made two moves to get two players, and Joseph and Sue, sitting there patting everyone on the hat, letting everyone in the media see him standing there? Howie doesn't have to speak to the media, dude. He can take his binoculars out, sit in a press box. There's my guy, Kenny Pickett. Hold on here for a minute. So postseason performance. Carson Wentz's deal. Dual threat. These are the reasons I haven't started. They've had 2 weeks to say something public to LeBron James's agency, who's notorious for not keeping any secrets. But the Joe Burrow's not secret. They think more of Joe Burrow in Cincinnati than they do Jalen Hurts in Philly. They should. I would. If Cincinnati wanted to trade Joe Burrow to Philadelphia, I'd give you the next 3 years first-round draft choices. I wouldn't have a problem doing that. And I'd pay the guy $55 million. That guy's a superstar. I ain't doing that for that dude. Dual threat. I believe they're waiting to see what this kid does. I agree with the people that said this. Postseason performance will dictate what this guy makes and where they're going to go and how long they'll go. 5 years, 3 years. They'll never go over 5. And I wouldn't want over 5 if I'm Jalen. You know why? Why would I want to set the market? Look at Patrick Mahomes' deal already. It's almost outdated at $42 million. Albeit he's got a 10-year contract and there's escalators in there and there's off-ramps and it's team-friendly for the Chiefs. That's a different animal, though, we're talking with Mahomes. Mahomes is a different player. He don't need A.J. Brown around him. He doesn't need it. Jalen does. Obvious. He improved his game this year with A.J. This guy improved his game without Tyreek. And when people start throwing Travis Kelce around, well, Jalen had Dallas Goedert and Devonta and a Pro Bowl running back. There's nothing like that in Kansas City. Nothing. That's why you pay that guy $50 million or $500 million. Because if you lose players, it won't matter. That guy breaks records and gets you to conference championship games. That's who Mahomes is. That's why you pay that money to that guy, Joe Burrow. That's why you pay that dude. Okay? Jalen is all pro, Burrow. Hey, Arthur. So look at Arthur. Arthur's opinion. Jalen's all pro. So he'd pay him more than Burrow. What an idiotic take. Dude. Hey, you need to go play in the sandbox with a shovel and a pail. Leave the football talk and the big football talk to grown-ups. You sit at the little kiddies table. Arthur, you sit at the little kiddie table, man, when we have conversations, and speak when you're spoken to. Sills is a double agent. I am not a double agent. I said on Monday, I said on Monday the Eagles are winning, man. Bill Ray goes, Burrow and Mahomes and Allen. I take my bets at the little kiddie table. Hey, I sat at the little kiddie table for the longest time myself. It's all good. It's all good. Sills just loves to hate. Hate. I said you're going to win Saturday night. I said you're going to the Super Bowl. We're talking contract extension for this dude. Or at least I am. Your Eagle guys aren't. How's that hating? Oh, hey, you know what's funny? You think it's hating that I'm asking you why the Eagles haven't started contract talks with the kid? And you think that's hate? So wait, no one asked that question in 2 weeks. Xander goes like this. Hey, Sills, your quarterback prediction is in jeopardy this week because Joey B's coming to town. I think he's right. Burrow's playing lights out football right now. Yeah. Now Sills is a sad old man. Not sad at all, actually. I'm very happy. I got a great amp. Family loves me. That's all I really care. What do you think I'm A-Rod? I give a shit what others think of me? Are you kidding me? When you start worrying about what other people think of you, you'll change yourself. That ain't ever happening. I know who Big Sills is. How you doing? I ask the hard questions. And see, here's a normal PD in Philly. Hey, I got a call from Bob Lang with the Eagles. You know that topic about paying Jalen? They're going to address it. So maybe if you could back off on it a little. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No problem, sir. We'll talk about the punter. Yeah. Bills could barely beat Skylar Thompson, and you can't beat Andy Dalton and Taysom Hill. Big Sills, you have an all-pro vote? No. MVP, player of the year. I bet we don't franchise him like Dallas. You can't franchise a guy with a year remaining on his rookie deal. What they can't, he's got a year remaining. But what you can do is extend him. Burrow's got another year on his rookie contract. Because he was the first overall pick and was a first-round draft choice, okay? They could tag him with a franchise tag if they got into tough negotiations. So they could put a franchise on him. I don't think it's going to go there. I think they're going to do Wentz and golf kind of stuff and add extensions like they did with Josh Allen and Mahomes. Josh Allen and Mahomes were extended on rookie contracts, as was Wentz and golf. And maybe the Eagles don't want to go down that avenue. I think it's kind of risky putting Jalen Hurts. What is it? Back on the field in 2023, making $1.3 million with a $100,000 incentive. He's the 717th highest paid guy in the league. You got kickers making more money than him. It's not cool. Especially the way he's played. Okay? What are they going to do? Oh, my God. I haven't even gotten to the topics yet. Oh, by the way, Daniel Jones and Jalen Hurts by the numbers. O.J. Anderson, 5 o'clock. We're going to talk with him. Wow. So, postseason, the Eagles are waiting to see how he does against the Giants Saturday night. Okay. They're afraid of extending him on what happened to the Carson Wentz stuff. Okay. And he's been injured. Oh, man. Everyone loves to hate the Eagles, and we love every. No one's hating the Eagles. I got you winning Saturday, going to the Super Bowl. How's that hate? Okay? Don't lose to Dimes Jones. I got to get to the topics here. I got some doozies for you here, man. Promise me if you come back in hour number 2, you're going to be okay. Take a deep breath. I'm going to give you a couple minutes here to take a couple deep breaths. Okay? I'm the only person in Philadelphia asking why the Eagles haven't asked Jalen Hurts and Clutch Sports and said to them, hey, we want him here for the next 5 years. The only one. Legally could have done that January 9th. Hour 2. Keep it here on the National.